The Boxing Writers Association of America calls him the 10th best active boxer in the world, but the Broward County Court prosecutor calls him violent. Lightweight boxer Gervonta Davis is scheduled to be arraigned on February 23rd on a domestic violence charge he was arrested for in December 2022. And this comes as a shock to Davis, though, because he and the person he allegedly abused claims Davis is innocent. A bit of context is necessary here, because while I understand domestic violence cases can be pretty messy, this one's particularly messy.
I know his goal was to get in front. He didn't realize that I just tapped him short and then he fell.
You usually have an abuser and a victim, but in this case the alleged victim claims Davis wasn't the abuser. This, by the way, was the same woman whose call to 911 was eventually released, wherein she claims that Davis, the man she shares a 1-year-old daughter with, was about to kill him. The woman, whose name has been redacted from legal documents, later called it a misunderstanding. Her exact words were, "I made a rash decision in the heat of the moment." The rash decision being calling the police, and the heat of the moment was when Davis slapped her across the face. According to Broward County Police, the multi-domain boxing champion slapped the mother of his child across the right side of her face, causing an abrasion on the right side of her lip. The two had allegedly been arguing all throughout the night. Police made an arrest on a misdemeanor charge of domestic violence, battery causing bodily harm.
I'm glad that we didn't fight the first time because I was so emotional. I'm just thankful and grateful to be in this position.
Davis's bail was set at $1,000. He later appeared for his pay-per-view match against Hector Luis Garcia, pretty unbothered. Now wait, he was bothered when they accused him of hitting his child too. Davis went off on social media following the incident. The lightweight boxer had a few choice words to say about people who had been commenting on the incident, specifically the people who claimed that Davis had hit his child on the day of the incident as well. Well, according to the official police report, Davis was accused of hitting the mother of his child in the presence of a child under the age of 16, but somewhere along the way their statement was misconstrued as the boxing champion hit his own child, something that would understandably aggravate even the Pope. And this is a lightweight boxer we're talking about, someone who's already had another brush with the law. I'll get to that later on in this video, don't worry. Anyway, Davis took to social media a few weeks after the incident, claiming that while he stayed silent over the whole issue and intended to stay silent based on the absurdity of the claim that he had touched the mother of his child, but calling him out for abusing his own child was what compelled him to take the issue up on social media to clear up his name. His post was in all caps to add more effect to the absurdity that Davis was claiming. The 2022 incident was pretty similar to the 2017 one. Charges were eventually dropped against Davis by his childhood friend in a 2017 case. Anthony Wheeler claimed that his childhood best friend, Davis, sucker punched him across the face when he tried to break up a fight between the two Davis brothers in 2017. He was later transferred to St. Agnes Hospital where he was diagnosed with a concussion. Sounds like a pretty lousy friend, right? Which is what Wheeler thought too, and that's why he filed charges against him. Davis was booked in August 2017 over a first-degree assault charge, which was later changed to a misdemeanor assault before being dropped entirely. Sounds awfully familiar. And just like now, Wheeler and Davis eventually made up. They walked out of the courtroom in December of that year and embraced on the courtroom steps, just like right now, where the mother of his child claims she has a stable relationship with him in spite of the fact that she called the police on him for assault. According to the mother of his child, they've gone to court, gone through therapy, and had lengthy discussions with one another to put the entire matter to bed once and for all. This would be the second time that she's filed charges, and later reneged on them, by the way. The first time was in 2020 during a celebrity basketball game. This one's a bit iffy, to put it into words, because a few fans have claimed that the same woman who's accused and reneged on her charges against Davis this time around was the same woman he was seen getting aggressive with during a celebrity basketball match in 2020. In either case, the woman's name was never revealed to the media. On that 2020 incident, Davis was at a celebrity basketball game with a girlfriend. They got into a verbal altercation, whereafter Davis placed his hand close to the woman's throat and approached her in an aggressive manner before dragging her to the back. TMZ later released video footage of their argument continuing in the back room, where a few people noticed how Davis's hand motions were similar to the motions you'd make if you struck someone. The lightweight boxer was charged with assault assault, but nothing really came of the matter. For his part, Davis actually apologized, but claims that all he was guilty of was being aggressive. He, however, never really touched the woman. So Davis is 3 for 3 with charges where people haven't followed through with the actual charge itself. Could he continue his lucky streak? Well, he's set to appear for a hit-and-run incident that left a pregnant woman injured. Days after winning a career record matchup and after turning 26, Davis allegedly exited the scene of a hit-and-run incident.
You know, I wish Tank get a second chance to redeem himself and drive not only safe but just be careful out there and make amends to himself and pay the price that he has to pay and move forward.
Wherein his Lamborghini crashed into a standing vehicle after he ran through a red light and sent the other vehicle forward, left it smoking, and sent the 4 passengers inside, which included a pregnant woman, to the hospital.
Like you said, he pleaded guilty, so I guess he understood what was happening, and so I guess he'll take care of it accordingly.
Luckily, they all sustained minor injuries, and no one was seriously injured, but it's actually a lot messier than it seems, because while Davis crashed with a Lamborghini, he left the scene of the incident in a Camaro. Now, the lightweight boxer isn't only being charged for hitting the vehicle, he's also being charged with running from the scene of the crime. A hit and run. Anyway, the police charged him on 14 separate accounts. In Maryland, leaving the scene of a crash that results in serious injuries is a felony punishable by up to 5 years in prison.
As you can see, Gervonta Davis was able to go to jail and get out and still compete and still win his last fight. You know what I mean?
But the charges filed indicate prosecutors believe the victim's injuries did not rise to that level. In spite of the multitude of legal issues, nothing touched his sparkling boxing career.
I mean, yeah, I'm not a fighter that, just go out there and try to look out for the knockout. So I was just warming up, see what he threw the best, was his strong hand.
He actually appeared for and won his bout against Hector Luis Garcia. It was supposed to be Davis versus Rolando Romero, though, which incidentally didn't go according to plan after Romero was accused of sexual assault.
Look, Gervonta keeps talking about these skills and stuff, but I mean, I just see his face get swollen up every single fight. He doesn't really have much skills. He just bullies a bunch of smaller opponents, weight-drained opponents. He's not that special.
Boxers have been gaining quite a reputation these days. The charges against Romero were eventually dropped, and he claimed that he wanted the matchup to go about as planned, but the association decided it would be better for everyone.
I mean, if I could have got a first-round knockout, I would have done it, but I know he's expecting a first-round knockout, so I wasn't able to get the first-round knockouts.
If Romero was pulled out and replaced with Isaac Cruz, who couldn't make it either, which is when Hector Luis Garcia came into the picture. The matchup was scheduled 11 days after his December 2022 arrest, and while he might have issues with the law, the American boxer has no issues with his boxing career.
He's definitely a warrior. I think that, even though he didn't get the win, a star was born tonight.
He managed to win against Hector in a pretty close bout via corner retirement. A fight broke out during the fight too, which is pretty ironic. Trouble always seems to find a way in following Gervonta Davis. See you in the next video.
He caught me with a shot, and I was like, yeah, I gotta, stay out the way.
Gervonta.